Okay, welcome back. And today I wanted to do a video inspired by the 30-day movie challenge video AJ put up. I don't really like doing these challenges. I tried doing the 30 days of horror and I don't even think I got past day one. um, I just don't like being conformed by rules, and I like to do my own thing. So if I choose to do any more of these types of videos, it's on my terms, not because I'm setting some bloody algorithm or setting some challenge mode. Just it's not natural to me. So I know AJ films a bunch of these in like one sitting and just uploads them and then just releases them one day at a time. To be honest, sometimes I'm like that. I'm in the mood for filming, sometimes I'm not. So it's quite sporadic. It's like buses. You might get one video from me and then nothing for about a week or two. So yeah, this is a um, soundtrack that means something to me. I wouldn't say it's my favourite, but it is definitely meaningful because this was, if not the first, the second record, because I bought them at the same time. I ever bought, and I bought this when I was very young. I bought this at a jumble sale when I was under the age of 10, and yeah, soundtrack to a film. It amazed me at the time that you could get the soundtrack from a film on an LP. So let me just move those other ones out of the way for a second, because I've got a few other things to talk about when it comes to soundtracks. But this one here, it folds out. It's not worth a hell of a lot, but it's sentimental because this is the original one that I bought when I was about 10 or younger. And it's like a book. And it's got the story of Mr. Chips and Peter O'Toole, Petula Clark, great actress. And it's a nice love story. He's a very sweet school teacher. She's a very sweet, but maybe a bit brash. No, I think she's quite sweet in the film, but she comes across as a bit brash. She's like a, she sings in musicals and stuff like that. Movie star type business, and he falls in love with her, and they have a relationship and stuff. But that's not really what appeals to me so much. I mean, it's a nice love story, but the soundtrack is really good, and it's conducted and supervised by John Williams, which, John Williams has done a lot of good films like Jaws, and that's the only one that pops into my mind. But I'm sure, didn't he do the Superman soundtrack as well? So yeah, he's got some gravitas, whatever. He's good. He's good. He's good. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I mean, it's very. The soundtrack is very. I was going to say luxurious, but it's lush. It's full. It's orchestral. It's. This is one of my first experiences with that sort of music that really hit home. It's kind of like, maybe people say, yeah, you have a reaction to opera, like in Pretty Woman, but with this film, this had the same sort of effect. It sort of hit me in the heartstrings. It sort of stayed with me all these years, especially the song When I Was Younger. Apollo's good. London is London. Doing a Cockney accent. It's a great film. I haven't seen it in years, but I mean, the soundtrack I don't really need to see the film. I know the film. I can picture it in my mind. The soundtrack does that if I listen to the soundtrack. And the song, When I Was Younger, I think it is, or yeah, the one about I know it's not that one. It's Where Did My Childhood Go? That's the one that really hits me in the feels, as the young people say today. Yeah, that really gets me. And that's kind of why I collect figures and stuff like that. Who wants to grow up? You know, nobody wants to grow up, and that's what films do for us, and figures and toys and stuff like that. It sort of keeps us in our part of our childhood alive, because if that goes, then you're dead. You're basically dead inside. There's nothing worth living for if you haven't got that sense of humor, that, you know, childhood, abandonment, wonder. You know, that's what you got to have in life, because otherwise you might as well just be dead. You know, if you give up that, there's nothing. There's nothing. It really isn't. So yeah, that on that happy note. I mean, I say this film is a really lovely love story, but I say this is one of the first records I ever bought, if not the first record I bought. This was just the other record I bought, so that's why I say first or second, because I got them at the same time. It's quite good. Flying Bear Medicine Show. It's like a rock concert. You got vocals and the organ. Steve Miller, Harvey Mandel, Eddie Ho, Robert Peterson. You know, Jimmy Young, Martin, whoever. Don't know a lot of these people, but Steve Miller I know from Steve Miller, Fly Like an Eagle and all that business. So yeah, that's those two records, and I'll say that was probably my favourite soundtrack. But I mean, I've got so many soundtracks that I love. Rocky soundtrack, soundtrack to Trouble Man, Black Caesar. There's so many. I mean, Black Caesar is probably the funkiest soundtrack you could ever wish to hear, even better than Saturday Night Fever and Tough Guys from Isaac Hayes. You know, Black Caesar is probably the funkiest one out there. But anyway, this one's got some nice memories for me now, because this is kind of a film that, well, a bunch of films, the trilogy of films, Fistful of Dollars More, and Good, Ugly, kind of films that my dad really liked. I mean, he liked a lot of John Wayne and stuff like that, but I think he liked Clint Eastwood films. I saw these when I was very young, and I've always loved them. And now my son, who is just turned 13, he's really into these films. And we've been watching, we've watched The Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More, currently on The Good, the Bad and Ugly, but got it was late and we both fell asleep. So we got to finish watching that. That is a long ass film though, Good, the Bad and the Ugly. And Fistful of Dollars was probably the best one. I'd say that in 3. A Few Dollars More is good as well. But yeah, he's been playing games like this, Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead 2. I've also got this one, which I haven't played much. I've near enough finished this one. It's taken me all these years to basically get around to playing it, and when I have, I sort of played it for a good chunk and then got bored. No, I did actually finish it. Yeah, fuck it, I finished it. But I didn't unlock all the side missions, so I still got that to do. But this one I sort of got bored of. You know, I like zombies, I like cowboys, so I'll probably go back in there, have another go at that. But you know, say it's nice memories to make. You know, my son is once he latches onto something, that's it now. So it's cowboys at the moment. He loves the Red Dead stuff, and he's people mixing the memes. You know, Warfare mixing Red Dead with Clint Eastwood. That's currently popular, so he wants to watch the films and stuff, and he's loving them. He really is enjoying them. So I'm sort of vicariously enjoying them through him, because he's like, wow, this is cool. I'm like, yeah, I know it's cool. I'll show him some of the other films like 310 to Yuma, and the other one, can't remember what it's called, Pierce Brosnan, and Seraphim Falls. That's a bloody good film. It's kind of like a mix between a cowboy film and First Blood. It's got that vibe to it. So yeah, So yeah, some good stuff there too. And obviously I've got my 1.6 Clint. I'll show that soon. It needs a little bit of work, a little bit of weathering, and it's pretty much there. Could do with some saddlebags, maybe some gold. That would be nice. But yeah, he's pretty much done. He's been a labour of love over the years, and yeah, he's looking good. The Sideshow one that came out recently is not looking that bad, but yeah, a lot of people think the head sculpt looks like David Beckham, and I do see the likeness there. There is a bit of a David Beckham likeness, so yeah, I prefer the head sculpt I got. That was offered by Kitchen, recast of the, again, iMini-Me Trevor Grove head sculpt. Yeah, that's just a little look at my some of my favourite soundtracks anyway. Peter O'Toole, Goodbye Mr. Chips. So that wasn't a soundtrack, but yeah. Yeah, I'll show some soundtracks in the future. I've got loads. I mean, I've got 50 plus soundtracks, probably on LP and more on CD. So yeah, thanks for watching, and maybe you'll see a video soon, maybe not. But if not, have a good day, take it easy, stay positive, keep the inner child in you alive, and do something silly, make somebody laugh, and yeah, hopefully that will, keep their inner child going. Right, so I'll say goodbye.